Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. On behalf of Weigel's Fuel and Food that's fast, fresh, and friendly, here's a quick weather and Weigel's update. Let's start off with Weigel's. I gotta love the fact that they've got this brownie batter milk. Do you like chocolate milk? I like chocolate milk. You like brownies? I like brownies. You're gonna love the all-new brownie batter milk. It is delicious. It's available for just a limited time. It's not just chocolatey or double chocolatey in my view. It is triple chocolatey. It's delicious, and it's just better when it's fresh. Farm to store in 24, Weigel's is the place to be. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. I don't know anyone in Tennessee who would argue with that notion, but it is better with its brownie batter milk. Check it out. Pick up a bottle or two because you never know how much longer it'll be on the shelves. Got to talk about the weather. A little bit of fog this morning, not a whole lot. Let's talk about that visibility down to about 4 miles in Morristown. Let me go back. In fact, I could jump back on there. I just kind of hit the clicker there. There, 4 miles in Morristown, but some of the gray areas in Granger County, Hancock County, even Claiborne County may be more indicative of where we have a little bit of fog, but it's not necessarily a problem. Most places will be void of that, but there could be a little more patches of fog first thing tomorrow morning. So keeping an eye on that. If you have some comments, would love to say good morning to you. We've had some sun-filled days. Are you getting spoiled? Are you getting spoiled because you're getting free vitamin D for everybody who goes outside? You have to go outside. You can't sit home. You can't sit on the lazy boy and just watch the vitamin D come by. You got to go outside and enjoy the great outdoors. We have winds at 5 miles per hour. We got wind gusts that are hardly moving in the Smokies, but temperatures are cool, but maybe a lot cooler to the tune of 10 degrees. If you're in Oneida, I want to highlight our friends in Scott County this morning. A big shout out to everybody who's in Scott County, works in Scott County, plays in Scott County because you're 10 degrees cooler at 43 degrees. Come on. You can see your breath in Oneida this morning because it's usually about 45. You can probably see your breath too in Middlesboro. They're at 44, but it's 53 degrees, 10 degrees warmer than Oneida here in Knoxville. I want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, just say good morning and shout out to you. If you've got a comment, would love to say hi. Fred's on here. He says good morning. He's got 52 in Maryville, and he says and wishes everybody a good day for some Weigel's coffee. Don't you love Weigel's coffee? I love Weigel's. It'll wake me up. If this video doesn't wake you up, I hope something will wake you up. Good morning, says Steve. He's got the sunshine and the happy face. Glad to see Steve here as well. If you have a comment, I'll do my best to share that with you. We got 50 in Sevierville. Good morning to our friends in Sevier County. That's where I spent yesterday. I was at Dollywood with the family. Had a great time. I shared some pictures with you. In fact, we've been all over parts of Tennessee over the last couple of days, checking out some waterfalls. Go back on my timeline. Some of you are probably still on fall break, and that's cool too. But wanted to share with you some thoughts, some really beautiful things here. And in contrast, we've got some prayers and thoughts going to our Floridian neighbors and friends down there as they're bracing for a very powerful storm, which I'll update you here in just a few moments. But as far as the expression, are you familiar with the expression cool and crisp? Usually this time of year, you can't just say it's cool. You have to throw in the word crisp, right? So what does that usually mean? It means dew points are in the 40s. That's where the dew points are. Oh yeah, look, 45 in Oak Ridge. That's crisp. No, is it cool? It's crisp. And if you're in Oneida, you got a 43 degree dew point. You got a temperature, it's 43, so you might even have some fog in Scott County in parts of this morning. But again, it is Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. I lost track of time. It's Tuesday the 8th. Don't adjust your TV or your live stream or your phone or your iPad. Don't adjust any of that because it is still the 8th of October. Nothing to see here. Lots of sunshine. As I said, one of the benefits of October is you can almost bank, not always, tropical weather can change that in a big hurry, or anything remnant of a tropical storm, as we saw from Helene just days ago. But certainly the big story will be down to the south. We're going to look at that in a moment. Our high temperature today, this is what I expect. Another sunny day, yes, but it won't be as warm. Yesterday we got up to 79, but today I expect we'll hit 75 in Knoxville, 77 in Kingston, 75 in Oak Ridge, and our friends in Morristown, Hamilton County, about 73. Would love to say good morning to you if you're on the call. This is my expectation here on a Tuesday, the 8th of October. I got a couple of notes that might be coming in. I got Mary Morgan. She just wants to shout out and say, good morning, David. Have a nice day. I love seeing the smiling faces. Alice is on here, too. She's in, I believe, Glen Mary, if I'm not mistaken. Good morning. Beautiful weather the last few days. She's enjoying it. And I got a note from Karen Robbins, one of my premium members. She's in Cumberland County. She's an hour behind us. She's at, well, I guess it's 5:45 for her now. but she's saying she's got 46 degrees in Fairfield Lake. Glad to have her here as well. And oh yes, I can't leave out Danny. He's got the Go Vols. Happy to have the Vols. I got the Vols forecast coming up here, so you don't want to miss that if you're going to the game. It's Gator Hater Week, don't you know? But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Want to show you the high temperatures. This is kind of cool. Cool in the fact that it's getting a little bit cooler. We've had, what, 4 days, 5 days in the 80s, going back to last Wednesday. For those of you, because I was mentally on fall break as of Friday, and my premium members know this, I think I'm 3 for 3 from Friday's forecast. I mean, it's like I wasn't even off a degree for the highs. We hit 84 on Saturday, check. We hit 85 on Sunday, check. And then we hit 79 yesterday. I think we'll hit 75 today. I could go 4 for 4. I'm basing that on my Friday forecast, but I want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, good morning. We've got the Weigel's brownie buttermilk. Isn't it delicious? Anyway, by the way, normal high this time of year is 75. So if you're going for a 75, we reach 75, you might say it's a typical day. I wouldn't say it's where we should be. That's like telling the ocean, you should be low tide, you should be high tide. No, the ocean is what it is, right? So our temperatures, or whatever they are, it's what we get. But the average is 75. I digress. 90, the record high from 1939. But we've been as cold as 30 when? On this date, we've been as low as 30 in 1889. That's back when Benjamin Harrison was president. See, you like context. That's why you come here. I think some of you love the context, especially maybe some history teachers out there. By the way, the Florida game, it's Gator Hater Week. Why are they coming here? Well, they've got to play us, I guess. Might as well be on our turf. Go Big Orange. We're not playing in the swamp. In fact, it's going to be nice and cool. They may be like a fish out of water, maybe a gator out of water, because we're going to be in the upper 50s by the end of the fourth quarter. Oh, that's crazy. That's like good weather. Yeah, it's clear. So if you got a ticket, maybe you're watching this game on ESPN. Last check, we're number 8. We're 4-1. We're going to recover. You know we will. We're not going to take this game lightly. Anyway, it doesn't matter any time of the year, any year on the calendar in the last day. When have we ever taken Florida lightly? We're going to take it on. They're 3-2. We're 4-1. But again, variable winds, expect clear skies. And if you're going to the game, would love to find out where did you get a ticket? They might be hard to come by. I got a note here from Vince. I want to say a thanks to my friend Vince. Good morning from Louisiana. Oh, look at that. Well, you've been on the move, and I know Diane wanted to get her out of the path. She was down in Florida. Hopefully she's in a safe place. I believe she is. Miranda's saying good morning. Got another note. And, of course, Karen Robbins, she's laughing at my last comment. She says, I vote for context. Yes, she likes the context of being able to put things in perspective. Because everything, you know, some things change. And some people get alarmed when the weather does this, the weather does that. It typically is active, hurricane season-wise, in mid to early September, right into October. So let's take a look. Where is the weather active? There's not a whole lot in the Great Lakes. If I last checked, those are frost advisories in blue in Wisconsin and Minnesota. So northern Minnesota and into parts of northern Wisconsin are dealing with frost. So it could be worse. If you're in the 40s, many of us are in the 50s, but if you're in the 40s and you think it's too cold, just ask your friends in Minnesota, Wisconsin. They've got some rain in Maine. Rain in Maine will stay in Maine for now. A couple of showers maybe in other parts of the country, but the big story is what's going to be closing in on Florida. Tampa, St. Pete, some might have argued in the past was an unproven city for hurricanes of the major variety, but they may very well be put to the test on Wednesday and Wednesday night. Prayers to them. By the way, dry weather in October is not unheard of. If you look at the green number that I've circled, it is the lowest number of the green numbers. That means October is typically, historically, climatologically, it's dry. It's usually the driest month of the year. 2.81. Doesn't mean we always get to 2.81. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. But so far, we haven't had a single drop. Not a single drop. And after what we had in terms of Helene, I think some of us were ready to say goodbye to the rain. By the way, if you want some hope, you might have some hope next Monday. Wait a minute, that's like 6 days away. I know. And I'm not even sure that that's even going to come to pass. Some people say, oh, because here's what's going to happen. Once Milton rolls across Florida, I don't think anybody would debate that's what it's going to do. The intensity might be a little bit. The track might wobble a little bit. But once Milton moves across Florida, everything's going to, like when you make a wrong turn and you're on your Google or Apple Maps and it'll go recalculating, rebuffering, it's going to figure it out. Like it's absorbing this big system. And so I think the rain that this model I'm about to show you on Monday says, oh, it looks pretty promising. It doesn't show any rain on Wednesday. But if we're going to fast forward the clock, let's go to the 14th. I believe it's the 14th. Yeah, Monday is the 14th of next week. There's Sunday. It suddenly starts to populate some rain. So, oh, well, that's maybe some hope. Oh, I'll get a little drop of rain. Don't bank on it. Not this far out. Not this far out. Even this amount of rain doesn't look that much. I just mentioned spotty rain for the Smokies. That's about all I think we're going to get out of this, but we'll see. Even if it still comes to pass, that is probably the earliest that you might actually need a local umbrella. Now, they're going to have more than an umbrella. They're going to need to take shelter because the last word from the Hurricane Center says, please, extreme serious threat. That's quote. This Milton storm is an extreme serious threat and they're urging people to follow the local orders of officials. Evacuations, right? Because this has been a Category 5. It may flirt with a Category 5. You need about 157 to be Cat 5. It might be technically a 4 now because it's got winds at the top there at 155. But Milton is a monster, right? He's churning up the waters. And oftentimes, while the track might be spot on, the intensity might be underplayed. So while they have it as a Cat 4, approaching Sarasota, approaching Tampa, what time is that? It's midday tomorrow. So I think tomorrow night, as my premium members are well-versed, well in the know, that they know something's going to happen, and it may very well come in as a major category, as a Cat 3, maybe a Cat 4. And I'll tell you, if you put that right over Tampa, St. Pete, you're going to be thankful you're not there. But that's when things are really going to go downhill. And in Florida, they are used to hurricanes. Let's not mince words. They're used to these types of things. But it's coming on the heels of what some of us are still reeling. Our friends in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, South Carolina, other places are still healing, trying to clean up and take stock of what's happened from just days ago. But I want to mention to you, if you haven't picked up a bottle, I changed gears for a second. If you haven't picked up a bottle of the all-new Brownie Batter Milk, I please hope you'll do so. Weigel's a great partner. They've been serving East Tennessee, and serving they have since 1931. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. We're talking about the Brownie Batter Milk. It's delicious. Happy to have them as a sponsor. We go back to the Hurricane Milton track. Again, if you have family in this area, they're well aware this storm is coming, no doubt. Once it crosses over Florida, it will still spin as a tropical storm on Friday, and then by Saturday, it's heading out to sea. By Sunday, there she goes. So these are one of the storms that you don't normally see this kind of track. I had someone ask me in the last 24 hours, is this usual or is this unusual? If you've got steering winds, it'll go any which way it wants to. And in this case, it's going from west to east. Now, the rainfall amounts, this is obviously a lot of rain, but it could be significantly higher simply by the fact that this is tropical rains. And I've talked about this before, but there's a difference between a cold rain and a warm rain. And nobody would dispute the rain that's coming in from Milton is tropical. It would be classified as a warm rain, so typically it squeezes out more raindrops. You're like, that's ridiculous. Well, not necessarily. If you think about it, what's going on? Is it continental or is it maritime? Just look at my graph here. This is from the National Weather Service. It's a great tutorial because you get more raindrops. You get more bang for your buck when you get something tropical. You get a greater rainfall rate, and that's what's in the bottom right square. You get more drops. Radar doesn't light up like it would because with ice, with cold storms, you get hail and all the rest. This is just going to be a super soaker. And so I think that the rainfall estimates that they're putting up there of isolated 15 certainly on the table could be considerably higher. They have another storm that could form, 20%, that could form off the coast of Florida, but that would be moving away, so we're not too worried about that. Milton is obviously the only game in town that we're worried about, but I wanted to bring you up to speed that many folks might not have the time to kind of examine. But how did we get here? How did we get to Milton? Where was Kirk? Where was Leslie? These storms were out in the middle of the Atlantic. Kirk is still going to be caused a problem, although Hurricane Center locally, they've washed their hands of this. They call it post-tropical Kirk. Post-tropical cyclone Kirk could have an impact on France as a tropical storm. Looks like it's going to zoom in. We'll zoom in. Yeah, but that's probably what, early Thursday morning. Some areas in Europe will be dealing with what was Kirk. Then we have Leslie. She came in afterwards. She's going to be not causing any problems because look where she's going. She doesn't want to visit the United States. She says, I think I'll just stay my merry old way and then just fall apart. So by Sunday, there won't be much of Leslie going forward in time. Let me talk about smoke. Let me come back if we can fly back here. There is a lot of wildfire smoke in across parts of the United States, mainly up from Canada into the northern plain states. Let me show you, a lot of this smoke is getting out of here, but this shows you those some of the wildfire, some of the thicker smoke in red, covering much of Montana, the Dakotas, and working its way across parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. So it will be improving. If you've noticed a little bit of the haze, and this is not all smoke at the surface, mind you, we call it vertically integrated because it's throughout the column of air, but some of you who are very sensitive to smoke may very well have noticed that as well. Got another note from Dawn Rumsey. She says, good morning. Delightfully cool, she says, and she is in Campbell County. She says she bundled up and with her coffee, prayers for all, she says, affected in this storm's path. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Dawn. And Rolana Johnson's on here. She says, good morning from Kodak. She's got her 2 Weigel's cup of coffee. Please pray for Florida. My children and friends are there. And I appreciate you reminding us. I think it's a great reminder because we know that many of us here in East Tennessee will, in fact, pray and be thinking and be mindful of those who are in need. And of course, you can always donate to services and charities that you are most aligned with. By the way, tracking the clouds, you can see things look pretty quiet. We don't have much. Sun's up at 7:37, and it goes to bed now at 7:09. 6:56, by the way, is the current temperature. So we've still got a little more than 40 minutes to go before the sun is up here on a Wednesday. October 8th, you're headed out the door. I decided to use this rather than the bus stop forecast because I know Knox County is on fall break this week. 59 at 10, but should be around 72 at 2 o'clock with a high of 75. These are the current readings. They are in the 40s in many areas in blue. The blue areas would include Oneida. They're at 43. While it's 53 in Knoxville, while our friends in Johnson City are currently at 45 degrees. Boy, has the humidity dropped. There is no humidity, Aldrich. It's yellow. Yeah, when it's yellow, it's very comfortable. There's no doubt about that. Those are our current temperatures and dew points. So let's recap using the headlines formula here. More sunshine today. The rest of the week, sunshine. That's boring. So we'll keep an eye on Milton in Florida, since he's the only game in town, and he is worth noting because he is going to cause more damage. 53 degrees our current temperature. As we approach the 7 o'clock hour, it's 6:57, 80% relative humidity, and the dew point's all the way down to 47. Here's my Valley Planner. Ooh, I like the planner. Hey, I know at 12 noon it'll be around 66. Does that help? I got to do some errands. I got to check this box. I got to check that box. Whatever you're doing, if you're checking boxes today and you happen to be off because maybe the kids are off, you want to get some errands done, should be in the mid-60s at lunchtime. It's going to be delightful. Again, yesterday was 79. Today I expect we'll reach about 75. Precipitation chances, I don't see that, it's all zeros. But Storm Prediction Center highlighting the hot spots in Florida. They've already put the level 1 for Tampa, Miami, Key West, even Sarasota, some of those, Fort Lauderdale, all covered with isolated severe storms today. Nothing going on here. We have nothing but sunshine. That makes sense. But you would imagine if tomorrow is when this makes landfall, they've elevated this to a level 2. This is a slight risk, which is usually scattered severe storms, possible tornadoes in some parts of Florida, all because of Milton. It's concentrated down there. And last but not least, even on Thursday, when this storm is pulling away, there's still the possibility of some isolated storms on the backside, which would affect places like Miami and Fort Lauderdale on Thursday. So that's the way things shape up. And again, quiet weather for us Thursday. So here's the future cast. As I say, a big bubble, no trouble. That's what high pressure does for us this time of year. This is not unheard of, the fact that it's dry, but it might be a little too dry for your taste or mine. But again, it's what we get. Notice a few sprinkles in maybe Alabama by Wednesday, but that fades away quickly. And then you can see right on the edge, Charleston. Looks like it's going to be rainy for Myrtle Beach by Thursday morning as some of that rain, maybe the outer bands, start to roll across parts of North Carolina, Wrightsville Beach, and then it pulls away on Friday. So high pressure, it's like 2 of them coming down. So we've got a very large ridge that's affecting us at this time. It is 6:59, time for your forecast. More sunshine. Don't forget your sunglasses. Wouldn't it be terrible if you were like on a roller coaster and your sunglasses flew off? I know about that. I've had that experience, right? So you probably have maybe lost your sunglasses. I know where they are. Well, I know where they are. They're wherever you left them last, I guess. Northeast winds 5 to 10, gusting 20 miles per hour. Today, look for a high of 75 in Wartburg, 73 Morristown, about 72 for Crossville. And if you're in Oneida, 71 degrees, my expectation. If you're traveling today, they'll be warmer in Atlanta, 79, but not terribly warm. And they'll be 10 degrees cooler compared to Atlanta in Lexington, in Kentucky. They're in Fayette County. They'll be around 69 this afternoon. So for tonight, we're down to 47. That's cool. There's that word again, crisp. It's got that, it's crisp. It's not just cool, honey, it's crisp. I heard the weather guys say it was going to be crisp. Yeah, dew points are going to be in the 40s. Some of you might have dew points in the 30s tonight, but I digress. It's going to be cool. I would say certainly cool with patches of fog. Low temperature tonight, 42. Bell County, Middlesboro, 45, Russellville, and White Pine. Talbot, Jeff City could be down to 45 tomorrow morning. That's cold enough to see your breath. 44 in Wartburg, 45 Crossville, and Fairfield Glade. Let's take a look at your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. It's 7 o'clock straight up, and the temperatures may be holding in the 70s, but the sunshine is in ample supply. We've already covered the Vols game. We've covered Milton. What more do you need to say? Oh, and we even talked about why we think the 68 on Monday with some rain chances is pretty slim. Right now I got a spotty chance for the Smokies, but I don't have it. I'm not sold on it here yet. Let's wait to see what Milton does and see if we get some recalibrating, rebuffering type of weather pattern for some rain. Because some of you got about by the time we hit this weekend, you're like, I want some rain. We can never be happy, right? It's always one thing or the next. It's back and forth. It's the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the all-new Brownie Batter Milk from Weigel's, I will really encourage you to try it. Many of us love chocolate. Many of us love brownies. This is the perfect marriage of those two. It's triple chocolatey. It is delicious, in my view, and it's only around for a short period of time, and it is a perfect add-on, especially if you're going to be filling up your tank or grabbing some coffee. It's just better when it's fresh. Farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Very thankful for all of you. And if you haven't picked up the all-new Brownie Batter Milk, I hope you'll do so today. Because again, they always have to make room for new flavors. You just never know when that new flavor will be, because you want to make sure that you have it in ample supply as well. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.